check out our video sponsor, Rogue Energy. That's ROUGE ENERGY. Use discount code SITH, SITH, for 10% off your next order of Rogue Energy.
Remember to follow us if you're listening on Spotify. And of course, subscribe to us if you're viewing us on YouTube. Remember to follow us on Spotify, and if you're viewing us on YouTube, please subscribe. A very warm welcome back to This Is The Way FM. I am your host, of course, the Grandmaster himself, Mr. i.tye, and welcome to our very new series that we are trying to do here on the channel called the SideCast. We bring on potential content creators of all walks of lives, i.e., streamers, YouTubers, gamers, cosplayers, all sorts. And today, I'm not alone. I've got a very special guest with me. And if she wants to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Daisy, or ld.Cosplays, as known on Instagram. And like it says in the title, I am a cosplayer.
She is indeed. A very warm welcome to you, Daisy, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's not a problem at all. And just before we, crack on to this, have you ever done anything like this before? Podcast-wise, YouTube-wise, I don't know.
I used to have a YouTube channel, a gaming YouTube channel that I did a long time ago. We won't speak of that though. There's some cringy videos on there.
We all start from somewhere. I mean,
yeah, good point. Very true. I did some bits like this for uni, but like properly like this, I haven't done for a while. So yeah.
That's no problem. But yeah, that's awesome to hear. But yeah, we'll just crack on to this now. Before me and you get into this whole little dings, whatever you want to call it. And to all our audiences out there, if you see in the description, we are obviously talking about something. So here on the SideCast, we're doing something, I don't know, like we're trying out new things. So for example, our guests will come with a particular topic that they want to talk about, and the hosts, they will discuss a common topic that they want to discuss about. So yes, we are talking about cosplays and the Spider-Verse. But before we crack into that very good conversation, Daisy, I just want to let the people know a little bit about you. I know your background, I mean, how you started cosplay,
Okay.
Where you're coming from, and yeah.
So I live in London. Well, I don't live in central London. I live like just on the outskirts of London, but it still counts as London.
Yeah.
And I love it here. It's great. I love being in the city. And it's great because I'm like right down the road from Comic-Con, which is
wow,
fantastic.
awesome.
So yeah, so I don't need to. It is about an hour on the train, but it's more a case of get on the train for like 2 or 3 stops, get off, get on the underground, boom, you're there, sort of thing. So that's the best part about living in London, is I don't need to book hotels or anything.
Yeah, I hear you there.
So yeah, I am a cosplayer, and I started cosplaying, gosh, it's probably about 7 years ago now. 7 years ago I started. It was a long time ago. And I kind of just did it as like a, no one else I knew was doing it, and no one else I knew at the time was like a huge nerd like me. And I loved like going to fancy dress parties and stuff. So, and I loved just dressing up as home, playing with makeup, just randomly pretending like being like on stage performing or something as a kid.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know who introduced me to cosplay or how I found out about it. I've just always seemed to known about it. So I was like, I'm going
Did
to
it
give
feel
that a
like a
go
kind
one
of
day. That looks
sense of?
awesome.
Did it feel like a sense of escapism? Like you kind of just.
Oh, massively. Yeah. Because I wasn't having the best of time at school at the time when I first started cosplaying. So it was, but like, I could be this completely different character and put all of my creative energy, not just into my exams in school, obviously, but into
Yeah.
cosplay. And it just felt really nice. I got to, when I was having a tough time, I could put all my energy and focus on making an outfit or doing some makeup stuff and not have to worry about what was going on outside of cosplay, sort of thing, what was going on at school or whatever. So it was nice. It is definitely a massive escape for me.
That's great. That's great. And yeah, with with cosplay, like, do you like, well, as a cosplayer, like, how do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself? I don't know if there's like job roles with this, because like, I don't know, me, I kind of see myself as like a part-time cosplayer. I'll cosplay like the once blue moon kind of
Yeah.
situation, but like you've got like people just, they'll go to con, they'll cosplay as one character and then they'll just be it. But then you've got people who have got multiple cosplays in a day. So it's like, today,
Yeah.
after morning I'm this, morning I'm her, evening just like yeah. What's your stance on that? Like, how do you kind of see yourself in that kind of?
Well, going back to the whole kind of like part-time cosplay, full-time cosplay thing, I would love to do cosplay full-time. I think that would be like the dream, to be able to make enough money off of cosplay that I can quit my job and
Sounds
do
ideal.
cosplay. But I'm also like, how do you even do that? Where do you even start? How do you get paid? Like, I know a lot of it is OnlyFans, but let's not go down that route.
Yeah.
So that would be the dream. But as for having like 2 cosplays in a day for Comic-Con, I have never done that before. And I think the people who have done that are insane. Like, insane in a good way. Like, they're very brave for doing it.
I tip my hat off to them. Just like how they do it is just like, wow.
Yeah.
And especially when you're like MCM London, and especially like if your hotel's like far, you gotta go back, change.
Yeah,
Got to think
exactly.
about
A
makeup and
lot,
other stuff like that as well.
yeah. A lot of the people I know who do it do have like hotels that are just next door. Like, they're the people that have spent like hundreds on their costumes and £100s of a hotel, which is obviously nothing wrong with that. If you've got the money to do it, go for it. I envy you massively. But some of my cosplays involve like full face makeup, like Beetlejuice. So having to like put that on in the morning and then go back to the hotel, I'm gonna have to like get in the shower to get it all off. And once I've showered, I'll be like, I don't really want to put makeup on again. I'm too lazy. I just want
Order
to
the
chill out
Mackie,
now, sort of thing.
Dicker
Exactly.
movie.
So yeah, exactly. So I might do 2 cosplays in a day. I think to me, a lot of my cosplay is like the biggest thing I get out of it at the moment is the whole makeup thing and like changing the way, like using face paint and eyeshadow and stuff like that. So I spend a lot more time now on my makeup for cosplays than I do the actual cosplay sometimes. So
Is that like
having
a
to kind of do
particular?
that. What was that? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, is that like with makeup? Is there like a particular, because obviously you see the makeup aspect part, you seem very kind of like passionate about. Is that something that you can use as a, I don't know, in a profession that you potentially want? Is that something you're thinking about?
I have kind of thought about it, but it's so competitive, and
Oh,
I've
really?
only really, yeah, I've only really just kind of started getting more into makeup and just playing around with like face paint and stuff. Um, but yeah, a lot of makeup artists normally, work on TV shows and film, and so it's for someone who obviously I studied film and TV production at work at
Oh.
uni, so I know how difficult it is to get into that industry already. So it's like I
It's
would
tough.
rather do it as like a part, like a hobby sort of thing. So
Oh, you did film and TV at university. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh my god. Did you well, what uni, and did you have fun with it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, so I went to Bucks New Uni in High
Okay.
Wycombe, so it's not
Ah.
too far away from
No,
where I
yeah.
live. And it was okay. It had its moments.
Hmm.
Um, First year was great. First year is normally like the best year because you get, if you're moving away into halls, you get to meet all your new flatmates, you can go out and party. And then obviously, yes, you've got the academic side of it all.
Some people forget
Um,
the academic side.
yeah,
There is
I
you.
loved I loved script writing, and it was very unfortunate that I didn't get to do that in the second year I was there. So that really kind of put me off the course, and I was like, this isn't really what I want to do. But
Hmm.
I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to stick with it. I'm halfway through now. There is no point of me changing because I'm going to have to start again. So I just thought, all right, let's just stick with it. I got to do script writing for my dissertation, which was fantastic. So I really enjoyed my third year. But now I look back and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I've got a degree, but also it is not what I want to do anymore at all.
It is
Usually
like,
it happens to a lot of people though, so it's not too bad.
yeah, yeah, I get that. Is the script writing aspect still there? Do you still have wanna
Um,
for it, or maybe like something on the side, like a hobby? Because
yeah, if I'm honest, I haven't really had the time to sit down and write. My plan was I wanted to carry on with my dissertation because my dissertation was a TV series. So I was
okay.
like, okay, I can sit down, I can write some more episodes, see how it goes, sort of thing. But I've just been so busy with work, and obviously now I'm back onto the cosplay wave, sort of thing. Cosplay has just kind of like taken over, really. I'm like, no, this is what I want
Coronavirus.
to
Don't
do.
worry. It's set a lot of people back, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. So there we go. But yeah, cosplay is my life now, pretty much.
But that's awesome. But like, obviously, we are still talking. I was gonna do a segue earlier, say so. Moving on to cosplay, but we kind of just naturally kind of got there. So,
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
so that's pretty awesome. I see. But like with you as a cosplayer, this may sound weird because like I don't know this kind of question, but what in your aspect as a a day in the life of a cosplayer, how would it, I don't know, go as such? That might sound weird, but like I hope it makes sense.
So do you mean like if it was like a day at a convention, maybe?
Yes, somewhat that, and also maybe like how you like go about planning a cosplay in general.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like this question. Okay. Um, so planning a cosplay, when it comes to like choosing a character, I'm I'm a bit all over the place when it comes to choosing a character because I'm normally like I like to choose a character that I can relate to. I think is funny, quite badass sort of thing because I'm like the complete opposite. I'm quite in person, I'm a little bit quiet on the shy side sort of thing, and then I end up choosing characters who are just like badasses, they're just like really tough and stuff like Ash from Overwatch. I'm the complete opposite of her, but yet she's my favorite character to cosplay.
But it
And I
makes you
think that
feel
kind
like
of
you embody
it
like
makes me yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of going back to, cosplaying, using cosplay as an escape. It's letting me be someone who I'm not, sort of thing, and it kind of feels good. It's like I'm not this person in real life, but I can be this person dressed up as this character, and it makes me feel awesome.
cosplay.
So
I think well, from what the people that I've spoken to, it's helped people in many ways. You wouldn't will be
mm,
surprised, like mental health wise, confidence wise. It's just being these characters. Putting on that persona, it just it helps. It's just like I tip my hat off to them. I just said whatever floats your boat and keep at it.
yeah, definitely. Um, as for like the planning side of it, so once I've kind of found a character, well, there's obviously like me saying I've like to cosplay like badass characters and stuff. There is a few characters where I'm like, oh, I really like that outfit. I want to give that a go, sort of thing. So there has been times where I have chosen a character just because of the outfit. But who cares why you choose a character? You know, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Oh,
um,
100%, 100%.
yeah. As for like planning, I like to kind of think outside of the box for when I do cosplay. So I like to make the outfit or buy the outfit, whatever, and add my own little twist to it to kind of make it my own sort of thing.
Of course.
So, for
Go a bit explore.
example, I did Beetlejuice, is one of my popular cosplays, and I thought, okay, what would Beetlejuice look like if he was female? So I was like, okay, he'd have like kind of not too long, but like long green hair. You know, a lot of like dark makeup. Oh, and I reckon he'd wear like some sort of like bra underneath the jacket and not a shirt sort of thing, because he's kind of like perverted a bit. So that's what I did, and it was huge. It was really, really popular. And I've also done Spider Gwen as well, which is another one of my popular cosplays.
One of
And
my
I
faves
decided to,
of yours.
yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite. I decided to do Punk Gwen. So, as in, like, I'm trying to think. I think it's Punk Spider Man. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name for it. Is it Punk Spider Man? Yeah.
Do they call him Spider Punk? I believe it.
Spider Punk. That's the one. I was like, I
That's
can't
the
remember
one.
what
Yeah.
it's called.
I was gonna Google it. Was that Spider Punk? But
Yeah, definitely Spider Punk. I was playing the Spider-Man PS4 game at my boyfriend's and absolutely fell in love with the Spider Punk skin. And on my way home, I kind of was like, oh, I could do a Gwen version. And I just sort of
that'd be awesome.
decided to design this Gwen idea that looks very similar to the Spider-Man one, but obviously turn it Gwen. So instead of the Spider-Man logo on the back, she's got the Mary Jane's logo on the back.
I
She's
love
got like
I love the event.
badges and stuff.
I love how they just make it so creative, you know, just make it their own and just like kind of,
Exactly.
and it's
Yeah.
theirs, and it's just like I see what
That is, yeah. So I was gonna say that is why I love cosplay so much, because I can do whatever the hell I want. Like I can have a character and then just completely change the outfit sort of thing and make it my own. It's I'm recently did a drawing of Velma where it was more of like a modern day Velma. So she had like, instead of the orange sweater, she had like an orange
what
cardigan
Scooby Doo
on.
Velma.
Yeah. She had like an orange cardigan on with like orange knee-high socks and like black boots sort of thing. So it's a bit like more of the modern kind of side. I'm like, you can still see it's Velma, but I've just added my own spin to it sort of thing. And that is what I love about cosplay so much, is that you can just do whatever the hell you want.
And that's so respectful. But you know, I got a question for you, because like, you know, online, you know, you get a lot of, I don't know, let's call them haters, you know, because you know there's sometimes
Yeah.
there's people that will just say, for example, you like dressing up as Beetlejuice, you know, who is a male character, and obviously I know some male cosplayers that like dressing up as, you know, as women characters, and some people get frowned upon for like doing that. Like,
Yes.
what's your thoughts on that? Just like me personally, I just think it's just have a day off, like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I hate it so much. Like I'm not calling anyone out here, but I have seen, I don't know his name, but there is someone on Instagram that goes around, because he hasn't commented it on my posts, but I've seen him commenting on a few of my friends' posts where he's had a go at them for not using their natural hair for wearing wigs. And he's like, if you want to cosplay as that character, you should dye your hair that color and use your natural hair. And it's like, no, what's wrong with wigs? The whole point of wigs is to make it, you know, look more realistic. You can't just keep dyeing your hair all the time for a character. I mean, unless you're, you know, going to go that hardcore into cosplaying a character, then go for it. So you do get like the odd person going, well, this isn't screen accurate. It's mainly the people who are like, this isn't screen accurate. They are the people that really irritate me. I'm very fortunate to have never had that comment on my Instagram. Although I'm probably like gonna see that comment today, knowing me, I probably just jinxed it now.
Oh,
um,
but here's the thing. What I say to all cosplayers and kind of out there, and what I don't know, my kind of word of advice is, you know, if they're taking the time to kind of read that comment, then they're not to write that comment, then they're not really worth your time, because like literally they've taken time out of their day to literally just write this, which is like, it's not really helpful, it's not really, you know, informative, it's just kind of like, you know, and it's just like,
Go
and
and
also,
take that time and send a nice message to your friend or a family member.
same kind of
That's what they
hate with
should
kind of
do.
like with YouTube and like social media in general. If they're taking
Yeah,
time, you know, to kind of spread hate, then it's just like, then they're not worth your time, you know, just kind of, because then the day
100%. Yeah.
they're the somewhat that's at the loss. So it's just kind of like move on in general.
If I ever get like a hate message or someone who commented on like one of my pictures, which is like a nasty message on my picture,
I got my basement.
normally I or normally I'd just delete it, I'd block it, because I'm not one for like answering back to people and being mean to people. I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, don't come over here saying this and that, because you know I'm just gonna block you off my page. It's simple as that. Like, you know, I don't want to see that negativity all over my timeline.
End of the day, we ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
But yeah, with like, and obviously with wigs, you know, because I know some, you know, cosplay, especially with girls, you know, some they buy them, some make them, you know, kind of like, what's your kind of approach to that?
So when going on to wigs, I have no idea how to make a wig nor to start a wig. I'm sure that I know quite a few people who make wigs from scratch, and it's extremely impressive. I won't lie. I've seen videos. I'm not good at styling wigs either, so normally I'd buy them. Same with cosplays as well. I'm not great with a sewing machine. I'm not good at actually making the outfit. So
Who's the type
normally
that?
I
I'm
would.
just like, I see, I appreciate you, and I could tip my hat off to you, but just,
Yeah.
whew.
So normally I would look up how much it would be to buy the full outfit and then kind of compare it to, okay, well, what if I buy, I don't know, these trousers and that top, and then I could paint the top? Would that be cheaper, sort of thing? And I kind of do it that way if it is cheaper. I'm all right. I'm okay with making props. I enjoy making props. So that is where I'm most strong in, is making props. Like I made my boyfriend recently a boomerang for his soccer from Avatar cosplay.
Okay.
And I had a lot of fun making that. So that is kind of like my strong point. But costumes, I normally just like buy the bits for and then add things on, or like paint them or cut it up, whatever. But if you're one of those people who can make a costume, that's fantastic. Good for you. If you don't like making the costume and you want to buy the outfit, again, that's totally fine. Good for you. There is no issue in buying a costume or making it. That's another big problem in the cosplay community. A lot of people are like, no, you should make your costumes because it's not real cosplay.
Didn't
It
realize there
doesn't
was a
matter.
law.
Yeah, some people are so on it, like, well, you can't cosplay that because you haven't got this bracelet on and you haven't got that necklace on. And it's like, well, not everyone can afford to buy those kinds of things. And with some certain costumes, some pieces of like jewelry or t-shirts or whatever, bits of clothing are just difficult to find online because it might be a character that's not very well known.
End
And
of the
to
day, it's
actually have,
really,
sorry, go on.
no, I was just saying, end of the day, it's silly, because like, and if you think about it, cosplay, it is silly, you know, it is, it's like, and many cosplayers, they don't, is some take it seriously, some they don't, but end of the day, it's just,
Yeah.
I think overall people just do it for a laugh, you know, just kind of just,
Oh, 100%. Like,
yeah.
I would say like I take it seriously, but I don't. Like, I take it seriously as in, like, obviously I tend to post every day on Instagram. I do have an OnlyFans. You know, I do want to make sure my costumes do look good, because if I feel like they look good, then it gives me the confidence, and then like I feel like I look good,
100%.
sort of thing. I don't care if someone comes up to me going, "Oh, your cosplay looks awful," as long as I feel good in it, and I'm like, "Well, I've worked hard in it, so that's all that matters," sort of thing. So yeah.
Go away, human.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, yeah, it's just those nasty people that are just like, no, it's not screen accurate. No, just go away.
But yeah, well, with the like the cosplay kind of industry, and or just like I go, let's call it the community, and obviously I think you're more kind of familiar with it. Is it do you guys is it a very supportive community? Do you guys back each other up and kind of like is it like
Majority of the time it is.
oh
I've made so many friends from cosplay. I've met a ridiculous amount of nice people just by following them on Instagram, just because we have something in common. I think a lot of the drama in the cosplay community, whatever you want to call it, is just between two people have fallen out because of something stupid. It's not really about cosplay. Normally, if there's drama in the cosplay community, it's not actually about cosplay. It's just something that's happened between them and other people might have gotten involved or something. So it's
okay
kind of just like school drama sort of thing, stuff that's really
yeah
stupid and silly. I've seen on the very rare occasion where someone's like, oh, well, I posted this and then you posted this. It's like you're copying me sort of thing. And it's like, no, okay,
day off
that's silly as well. So I wouldn't say there's like drama in the cosplay community. It is just basically like school drama, as I'd call it, stuff that would happen like if you were in school sort of thing.
have a day off basically just
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, everyone I've met has been so friendly and so supportive. Like, we do shout outs for each other. A lot of cosplayers do giveaways and we all enter each other's giveaways. And whenever I'm actually in a group chat, there's quite a few of us in this group chat, and we have a special hashtag that we use to help us find each other's posts. So we can see if our hashtags are actually working, or we're not shadow banned on Instagram. And it's just an easy way for all of us to see each other's content. So it's stuff like that is like, that's a really cool idea sort of thing. So yeah, I'm really really close to those people, so that's really good.
Sorry about that phone notification. I was just like, put it on silence. Just like
I didn't hear anything, so it's all right.
oh, brilliant! Yeah, but like that is great to hear. It's nice to hear that it's like a good fuel of community. It's
Yeah.
just nice that you got a good kind of source of energy. And then that's what kind of really is about kind of cosplay in general. It's just like, and wherever you kind of look at it, and just it's kind of just it's kind of wherever you kind of take it from it. It's just where it's up to you. Like it's kind of like your decision in the day. But with you to a cosplayer, like is there any aspiring cosplayer, like is there any words of advice that you could give? Or
as long as you're having fun, go for it. Like, if you're a female and you want to cosplay a character that's male, go for it. Vice versa, if you're a male that wants to cosplay a female character, go for it. If your costume isn't finished, as long as you're happy with it, go for it. Like, you don't even know if you don't know how to sew, or to draw, or to make props, or to style wigs, don't worry about it. If you want to try cosplay, just do it. Like, there's plenty of ways you can get around not being able to sew and have like those skills. You can still do cosplay. So if you're having fun with it, then go for it. Like, there is going to be, if you are making a costume, there is going to be stressful times. Like, we all get stressed out con crunching and making costumes. But at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun and you feel confident and you feel amazing, that is all that matters.
excellent. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And is there any I was gonna ask a question. I don't know. I was gonna ask you if like, is there any like cosplayer you look up to? But I guess majority of the cosplayers that they are kind of like the similar kind of age as you, like in that kind of sense. So it's just like, I don't think there's like a big like cosplay role models, because obviously cosplay is kind of like a fresh kind of concept. But like
Yeah, there's a few what I would call like famous cosplayers who have like a huge following on Instagram. Like Jessica Nigiri is one of them. I see a lot of cosplayers have like a love-hate relationship with Jessica Nigiri. Because obviously she does like the OnlyFans thing and she does lewds. But I kind of see her as, yes, she does all these things, but if you actually look at her cosplay work, she makes everything she wears. She's
Wow.
made these fantastic armor pieces as well. Yes, they might be on the lewd side, but she makes foam armor and she puts like lights in them and like smoke that comes out of them, and it's like, oh
Wow.
my god, that looks amazing. Yet you're getting people like getting really eggy with you because you're doing lewds, like so it's a bit like, well, look at this fantastic armor she's made, and it's just, oh yeah. So I kind of like look up to her a little bit, just on that kind of going like, you can have all this skill, but you can also look great.
Is there any like free cosplayers who are somewhat, they have some of a following right now, but do you feel like, oh my god, like you're just so great, you're just so you deserve so much more following than this? Like, is there any?
Oh, there are so many.
Wow.
There is a lot. I could literally, all of my friends that I've made, all the people I've made friends with, like, deserve to be on that list. I could be here for ages. I see a lot of cosplayers who make their own costumes and they're only like 200 followers, and I'm just like, how are you at 200 followers when your photography skills are amazing and your cosplays are just incredible? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I would list off a few names, but I feel really bad if I miss anyone, just because there is so many of them. But honestly, if you go onto my profile, I shout these people out a lot, so just keep an eye out.
Be sure to do that. And anything you else want to bring up about cosplay?
I just say, just have fun. Like I said earlier, just have fun. Who cares what you're doing? Have fun, as long as you're safe.
Of course, and of course. Now, I think this is a nice little kind of segue into our next topic. And hey, it's what we call the host choice. Don't know if we're going to keep that name, but hey, we're doing it. We're doing it, I guess. But like, we'll see. The Spider-Verse in general.
Yes.
I mean, is there the Spider-Verse, like, what would you want to talk about? Like the movie, the Spider-Verse in a whole? Obviously, I know
the movie, 100%.
I know you have a close kind of like relationship to obviously Spider-Gwen, so there's that. And but yeah, well, from your expression, I'm guessing you love the Spider-Verse movie, just like.
Yes, 100%. The Spider-Verse is just incredible, just from the animation to the music to the storyline. It is very difficult to pick out flaws in that film.
Yes. Shut up. I'm like, I was just like, I got a notification. I put it on silent. It's just like, okay, I was listening to you. Just like,
that's all right. Carry on.
Now, yes, you are completely right. But yeah, it was just. I feel before it was being released, like even me, I was just like, oh my god, animation, really? Like, it's not gonna, you're not gonna pull it out of the pot. I would have really preferred. It's just like, well, why didn't you do it as live action? But then again, it works so well as an animation, and visually, it was stunning. Wow.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
I was so gutted. I was like, there was a 3D version. I was just like, imagine looking at that at 3D. That was just that
would have been incredible.
breathtaking. Yeah, and it just kind of set me off my like. But like before the kind of Spider-Verse came out, did you have a fond love for Spider-Man growing up, or was Spider-Man or Spider-Verse have they been?
If I'm honest, not really. I'd heard of Spider-Man. I had watched the Tobey Maguire films when I was like growing up, but I wasn't as big as a fan as I am now. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan now, obviously, but thanks to Into the Spider-Verse, I watched it whilst I was in Florida last year, and I'd heard a few things about it, but not too much. And then I was just sitting by the pool one day and I was like, oh, it's on Netflix, I'm gonna go and watch it on Netflix. Watched it and I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible. Why have I not watched this yet? This is so cool. So that's kind of gatewayed me into more of the Spider-Verse sort of thing. So I did know, like, before I watched it, about Gwen and about Peter. I didn't know who Miles was until I watched Into the Spider-Verse, or Peter Porker or Spider Noir. Like, these were all new characters to me, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
You remember
So I
what you
kind
were
of like,
feeling when you saw Gwen?
yeah, I knew about Gwen from the Andrew Garfield films.
Hmm.
So I did kind of, again, like when I said earlier about I'm not quite sure how I remember, like, who introduced me to cosplay. It's the same with Gwen. I've always kind of known about Gwen. I knew about her, like, costume and this and that, but I can't remember how I got to know about Gwen. But it was nice to see Gwen finally in, like, a Spider-Man form. And as soon as I saw her in Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, I've got to cosplay Gwen. She looks awesome.
Did you like the Emma Stone kind of portrayal?
If I'm honest, I watched it so long ago, I can't really remember what's happened. But from what I can remember, I wasn't a massive fan.
Hmm.
I think I could be completely wrong, but from what I can remember, she was more of like a damsel in distress sort of thing. And Gwen is not. I haven't really read the comic book, so I'm assuming in some of the comic books she is like that, in others she's not, sort of thing. So I kind of see Gwen more as like a hero figure. She's not a damsel in distress. She doesn't need saving. She can save herself, sort of thing. She'll be the one saving you, like.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You know, but I'll recommend watching it again. Maybe, like, you know, kind of both of them,
yes,
because, like, you know, I can see what you're saying, because, you know, in aspects they did kind of show that it's just like, ooh, Peter, help me. But obviously they
yeah,
showed that, like, there was a scene where literally she's going up to bloody the lizard. She hits him with a bloody trophy, and just thinking,
yeah.
who does that? Everyone ran. You hit him. It was like, mad. Okay, and you know she. You know, yeah, you know, so just maybe watch it again. You know, maybe, you know,
Yeah,
I can
it's
see your
been
argument, and obviously,
so long. I
yeah.
kind of, like, I'm not a massive fan of Andrew Garfield, so that's why I haven't really, like, I only really watched them once, really, and it was ages ago. But I feel kind of the same way with MJ in the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
Kirsten Dunst.
Again, they just made her, like, such a damsel in distress, and it's like, well, sometimes in the comic book she's like that, but, like, I know in other cases, the way I've seen her, she's pretty badass. Like, she, you know,
In the
she's
game,
bit,
they
yeah.
literally kind of hit her on the nail, personally, with the comics. Like, because you were talking about the Spider-Man,
Yes,
like, game, and it's just
I
like
agree. Yeah,
giving her this whole, like, reporter kind of, you know, vibe, and it was just like, oh yes, that's MJ, you know.
yeah. I felt the exact same when I played the game. I was just like, this is MJ. This is who she is. Like, she's brave. She's going and sneaking around trying to get this story out and stuff, but she's also caring about Peter and making sure he's okay, sort of thing. So that, yeah, they hit the nail on the head with MJ there, 100%.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I was just like, in terms of, like, Kirsten Dunst, like, she was blonde. It was just like, I was just sometimes thinking, wait, is it? Oh, actually, no, she was a red hair in the movie. I was just thinking, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
you're blonde. Thinking, oh no, you were in the movie. It's just like, oh, I was just like, huh? I was just thinking, why are you blonde in this movie? It's just, I don't get that. I was just like, because I was just looking back, because I was like, oh, actually, yeah, you were. Just like, but yeah, Spider Verse, in its, you know, I'm guessing you're excited for the next movie that's coming out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Um, I think he's great. I do think his character, him as Spider-Man, I think that does need to be not improved, but I feel like, I don't want to say there's room for improvement, but I feel like there is a little bit.
I
Um,
somewhat feel with him, it's like good. He does the Spider-Man thing aspect pretty good, but kind of
Yeah.
Peter Parker is just. I sometimes I hard to kind of see it because they it's like the MCU kind of like just forget kind of who Peter Parker is. Like he's a genius. He is like he's a kind of backstreet kid. He's a kid from New York for crying out loud.
Yeah,
But they just make him look like Tony Stark's Chihuahua in his bag. It's like they kind of
I totally agree with you. My boyfriend kind of actually said to me the other day, it's pretty much Spider-Man ruining Peter Parker's life, basically. Yes, Peter Parker is obviously Spider-Man and he's doing these really great things, but being Spider-Man is ruining his life. Like, he's losing friendships because of it. He's having to lie where he's going because he's doing this and that as Spider-Man sort of thing. And it's like, oh my God, that's so true. And my boyfriend actually recently introduced me to the Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated show.
yes.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm really enjoying it. And in that, you can really see how Spider-Man does ruin Peter Parker's life. Like, he's lost friendships. He's not, he loses a friendship with Gwen, sort of thing. He has to cancel on plans last minute, and it's just that is who Peter Parker is.
Spidey fans were so sad when that series never came back. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, I can see why. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and yeah, it does. You're right. You're absolutely right. And if Spider-Man 2 with kind of Tobey Maguire, the first kind of half showed such a accurate kind of what kind of Peter Parker's his life is, and like Spider-Man is ruining his life. Just kind of having struggle, just kind of having that balance. It just kind of, And
then obviously you had the third one, which you can see how much he's struggling because he tries to get rid of it. And you also see that in the Spectacular Spider-Man as well. Peter gets very close to getting rid of his Spider-Man powers, and it's like that right there. That is actually could possibly be like a very accurate representation of being a superhero. If we had superhero in the modern day, I bet half of them wouldn't actually want to be superhero because it's probably going to ruin their lives. Like, their loved ones will be in danger, sort of thing. So it's like, that's really accurate. That is for me personally. That is what I think a superhero would be like in modern day.
100%, and just going back to Tom Holland is just the Spider-Man aspect. I think he does well. He does kind of portray this kind of he has seen it, but end of the day is just there's no kind of heart in just but here's the thing, I've noticed something. The Russo brothers kind of they've been doing him well, because when he's in the whole Avengers and when he was in Civil War, I kind of preferred him then when I did in his own solo movies. But even how that being said, with Homecoming, I really liked they did it perfectly. Remember the part when they took away his suit?
Yes.
And they had to kind of he had to kind of be his kind of, he had to find out his own worth. He had to kind of yes, okay, thank you. I would have preferred then if Peter actually made his own suit. That's why it goes back to saying he's a genius. They just keep forgetting about this. They don't utilize that that aspect of him. And in Civil War, what was the first we've seen? He comes in with a computer from a junkyard, and I was just like, that's Peter Parker. He lives in New York. He's just like a nerdy little dude that's just trying to.
He doesn't rely on Tony Stark for everything.
Yeah, and in the comics, he hated Tony Stark. In the comics, Peter Parker just really despised Tony Stark. And obviously there was in the comics, people. Tony Stark was obviously, no one knew Tony Stark was Iron Man. Iron Man was Iron Man. Tony Stark was Tony Stark. It was just it was kind of the kind of Bruce Wayne kind of Batman kind of deal. But obviously in the MCU, people know that kind of respect. But yeah, it's just stuff like that which I just feel they need.
I think hopefully they're just going to, obviously now, spoilers, Tony Stark isn't alive. Hopefully we're going to see more of that vulnerable side of Peter, of him struggling on
okay. I'll watch it.
Of him, hopefully we're going to see more of a vulnerable side of Peter, of him now struggling on his own and having to make these suits himself and stuff like that. So part of me really hopes he'll get that, but I'm also not seeing us getting that, because I don't think MCU will let it. If that makes sense.
Far from.
I don't know. I just really hope they kind of like expand his story more and just develop his character more throughout the films, which I'm sure they will do. Like, it happens all the time. You always find that they get more into the character, and the character develops so much that the character is better in the newer films than they are in the older films, sort of thing.
I respect that, yeah. And with Far From Home, I don't want to say it's bad, but then again, looking back, okay, here's the thing: it's not a Spider-Man movie I'm just going, oh my god, I really want to see you again. Yeah, let's go. Like, it's just like I came out of it, I was just like,
See, I actually liked it. I preferred it to Homecoming.
I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying there's just parts where, you know, it's just they're not. I don't know what it was. I couldn't just, like, maybe it was just I can't put my finger in it, but it's just there was just something, you know, maybe the whole, like, the fact that, you know, in this first movie he wanted to press Tony Stark. Everything he wanted to do was about Tony Stark, and obviously second movie, who's Tony Stark? I've kind of somewhat forget about him, but he kind of keeps on coming up, and, you know, I kind of understand that, you know, the kid is grieving, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, you wanted to be a superhero, you know, you kind of wanted to, you know, press Mr. Stark, but like, you don't want to do that, you know, you just, all I'm kind of seeing you throughout this movie is just trying to get the girl, and it's just like,
yeah. It did kind of baffle me how MJ was like, oh, that you're Spider-Man, and he's like, oh yeah, I am Spider-Man. Like, how did you get that? Like, what? Like, it's not like, for me, if I was like MJ, I wouldn't see what he's doing obvious. I know MJ in this is very smart, and I like how they've made her so smart and quite cocky, because I like how it's kind of going back to the original MJ. But I was just like, how did she get that? Like, it's not like they were making it obvious to her, if that makes sense. I don't know. I was just, it baffled me a little bit.
I see what you're saying. I totally understand and see what you're saying, but it just felt like, at some parts, it just felt like, is this like another cheesy teen movie with, like, the whole, I don't know, Ned and the Betty thing, like that was sent. It was just like, oh, we're on holiday, oh, we're going girlfriend, and then, oh, we're not. It's just like, well, what was the point of that? Like, what?
Yeah, no, I totally see that. I kind of see why they did it though, because obviously they are meant to be teenagers, they are meant to be school, like, that stuff does happen in school, but I just think they kind of went the wrong way about it.
But yeah, but honestly, they did. It is just, yeah.
I think they just try and did it for the comedy aspect as well, because obviously, like, yes, Spider-Man can be serious, but I wouldn't say Spider-Man's a comedy, but, you know, there is some comedic moments in Spider-Man, you know, it's very, like, hearted.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be funny, but it's just like, there's, like, funny moments when there's just like really cringe moments that doesn't really have, like, you don't fit in the puzzle, and it's just, but overall, I think, you know, far from Home, looking back, you know, it wasn't the worst movie in the world. You know, it's just, I quite liked Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. You know, I think he got quite slated a lot. I didn't understand why, but just, you know, I thought he did actually an okay job. But yeah, that's with me, really. But Spider-Verse, we had a really good kind of, broad kind of talk on. Yeah, is there anyone you're hoping to kind of see in Spider-Verse 2, like any particular favorites, or Punk Spider-Gwen, probably.
If she's an actual thing, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see Spider-Punk in it. I think that would be really cool. I think, I don't know if we've heard so many rumors about this, but to get, like, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland in it, that would be amazing. But I don't think they would do it. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, anyway. But, like, you know, the fans, we do
They
shout.
are asking for it. They are asking for it. I've seen.
And when the fans shout, we do sometimes get what we want, so
Yeah.
if we shout a lot, then they might hear us. But yeah.
Or at least if, maybe just have like Tobey Maguire in it and like Andrew Garfield, because obviously Tom Holland, is still quite new to the role, and I feel like it might just.
You're already getting a paycheck, but you don't need another paycheck. Like, come on.
I don't know. I feel like the MCU would be like, no, it'd be too confusing for like the MCU, him being in like Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, like, I'm not expecting him to have like huge cameos, just maybe like an odd voice line or something, like in like a montage. I think that would be like really cool. 'Cause it's just like, oh my god, that's him. That's Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield sort of thing, and he's got this like little one line, like, you know what I mean, like those kind of like.
100%. A little cameo.
It's like it's like the Stan Lee cameo sort of thing. He's only in it for like a couple of seconds, yet he's got like one of the best roles. Like,
even they somewhat referenced, even in the first one with like, the kind of intro where they showed him doing the Tobey Maguire dance from the Spider-Man 3. It's just like,
yes,
see that, like stuff like that. That's what
yeah. See, Into the Spider-Verse is on it with their references, 100%, with like the train stopping as well from the Tobey Maguire movie, him stopping the train or the tram, whatever you want to call it. So it's just, they are on it with their references. So fingers crossed. Who knows? That would be awesome if they could get all three.
The Spider-Verse is very big, and Sony, they got a lot to deal with, and us as fans, we are excited for it.
Yes,
Daisy,
very excited.
Daisy,
yes.
That's the name
Hello.
twice. Daisy, I think we've had a good thing.
Yes, it's
overall
been great.
Yeah, I don't know how long we've been going for, but
an hour now, I think, isn't it?
An hour? Oh, that's brilliant! Oh, wow, awesome. But yeah, Daisy, I've had a really nice time. Thank you ever so much
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry my Spider-Verse knowledge isn't top notch.
Look, it's a verse, Not everyone, no one knows everything about the universe that we already live in. So, I mean,
that's a very good point.
Yeah. So hey, no, don't worry. But you know what, Daisy, you know enough. You know enough.
Thank you.
Thank you for being our very first guest of the SideCast.
No problem.
Yeah. So
feel honored.
Yeah. There's no prize. We can send you like a.
Oh.
Do you want like
just
a
send me a
bar?
check in the mail. It's fine.
Candy bar. We can send you like a box, like a sweets from like the local pound shop. Is that okay? Maybe it's like some jelly tots. Yeah, whatever.
I love jelly tots. Perfect.
Oh, well then that's going in the box. Yeah. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the video, obviously do remember to like. Thank you. And if you made this fun video, thank you very much, so much. That is very much kind and appreciated of you. And of course, comments. What was your favorite part of Spider-Verse? What do you like about the Spider-Verse? What are you hoping to see with the new movie and the new installments with Spider-Man in general? Let us know. And Daisy, 40.
Hello.
I was going to give you 40 seconds. That's too long. I'll give you 10 seconds to plug anything you want to plug, and go.
Okay. I have an Instagram which has all my cosplay stuff in it, so you can see really cool stuff like Spider-Gwen and Beetlejuice. Who else have I cosplayed? I don't know. I can't remember. Poison Ivy. That's one of them. So go and follow me. ld.Cosplays. There you go.
You know what? That was 11 seconds, but you know what? We'll allow you. We'll allow you. That last little snippet, no, it's not going to be in there. I'm afraid we've got to edit that out. But rules are rules, I'm afraid. But it's all awesome. But yeah, make sure to go follow Daisy there. Her link will be in the description below. And of course, to all the guys, all the regular members here, This Is the Way, everything is in the link in the description. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, there will also be in the description. So yeah, that is fantastic stuff. Oh, excuse me, just coughed. One. We've been talking for a while, but yeah. Denny.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. It's just like, oh, it's almost dinner time. Oh, time for some food.
I want food now, yeah.
Oh yeah. Any final thoughts?
Um, Thank you for having me. Yeah, thanks. I'll more than happily come back again anytime
Yeah, you are
if you want
more
me back.
than welcome. But yes, if you are a content creator, just like Daisy, whether your background is, I don't know, streaming, YouTube, cosplaying, whatever, please do be sure to message us in our socials, either our Twitter or our Instagram, and you know what, we'll be sure we'll see what we can do. We'll do what we can, make the magic happen. And obviously, Daisy, if you know anyone, yeah, hi, send them my
I'll
way.
hook you up.
Thanks, and you got me. You got us out here. Yeah, sick. But yeah, we're going to end that there. And Daisy, there's something that we do on this channel when we sign off.
Okay. Go ahead. Go on.
Yeah. Obviously, we modeled ourselves after the Mandalorian channel on Disney Plus Star Wars, and there's a thing that the Mandalorian obviously says. We say this is the way. So, if you want to take the lead,
This is the way.
this is the way. Thanks very much.